Hi everyone, welcome back to my workshop. We have a locking compensated nut procedure that we're doing today. I start with this brass stock and I end up with this little strip that sits on the rosewood fingerboard and butts up tight against that locking nut. And you'll see when we're done, there'll be different values cut for each string all the way across. And this Ibanez Joe Satriani will play 100% perfectly in tune. So that's how I set up on the tech deck, because I do super glue that piece of brass to the rosewood and the locking nut. So we want that super glue to run downhill. That's why I orient the guitar like this during this job. Now the other guitar that we have in this is a beautiful Larrivee guitar. And this is now a scalloped fingerboard, and this was done by Mark Aitkinson in Oakville. This is the third guitar I've had come into my shop that was scalloped by Mark. A Les Paul, another Larrivee, and now this is the second Larrivee. Same customer. He's looking for a compensated nut, and he wants the string spacing brought in a little bit tighter. So there you go. That's what we got on the go today. Okay, we're going to go stem to stern on this guitar. I'm going to give you a rundown of exactly what we did, what I needed to do to get this guitar to behave 100% and to intonate and play as smooth and accurate as it does right now. So initially, Tom had dropped the guitar off because he had put a pick guard on it, and he wasn't real happy with the design of the pick guard. So kind of redesigned a black, white, black engraving stock pick guard. So that was the initial thrust of why he brought me the guitar. Of course, I've already set up 3 other guitars for him, and he thought, well, while it's here, he might as well get it set up. First issue I came across was the bridge was as low as it could go, and the action was still too high. So in order to remedy that, the neck was removed. I shimmed the neck on this end to tilt it back like so that these pivot posts for the bridge lifted up off of the body and gave us all of the adjustment that we need to put the action wherever we choose. So of course the pickups were raised up, and the springs in the back, we went with 3 springs like a Strat, so this is a 25.5-inch scale, and we've got that perfectly balanced now. All of these saddles needed to be intonated. We got the action where we want it, we got the lay of the neck where we want it. Because Tom has already got 3 other guitars with compensated nuts, he gave me the green light on doing a compensated nut on this one. But it's a completely different challenge. Let me bring you in for a look. So initially, Tom just assumed, well, you can't intonate it because it's got a locking nut. So I went on to explain to him that yes, you can actually intonate a locking nut. And I have a full tutorial on my Patreon channel on exactly how I do this. But the basic gist of it is, there's a slip of brass just ahead of the locking nut bed. And that allows us to actually locate the intonation values for all 6 strings all the way across on this guitar. So this is 10 to 46 strings, concert pitch, 25.5-inch scale. Essentially, the Ibanez version of a Strat. Now, of course, it's got the floating tremolo, which is ultra sensitive, as you saw. So it was quite a job. I mean, this was like a full day's work. And when we lock that down, this guitar plays perfectly in tune. Well, for any of you who have watched my channel, you know that I'm quick to give credit when credit is due. The idea of putting the ball ends on the machine head end for this type of bridge system where you have to cut off the string and basically clamp it into place. This idea was not mine. It was actually one of my former students, Nick Labodovich, who's gone on to be a fantastic studio engineer in Toronto. He took my level 1 course, my level 2 course, and bought his tech deck, and he came into class with his guitar strung up like this. I thought, you know something? That makes way too much sense. So thanks for that tip, Nick. Still using it to this day. So in the final analysis, this is what we've got. A perfectly balanced floating tremolo system, a custom pick guard, and the action intonation and lay of the neck setup, and a compensated locking nut. And now this guitar is good to go for the long haul. Cheers.